Welcome back. 8:35 right now. Trouble for comedian Bill Maher. TMZ's Harvey Levin is in LA and joins us right now with more. Good morning, Harvey. Good to see you. Now, comedian Bill Maher, he's going to return to his HBO show to address the racial slur that he used. And for me, Harvey, obviously using the word is awful. What seems really troubling to me is just how easily he said it.
That's what a lot of people are saying, Lauren. Al Sharpton said it. Kevin Hart said it. A lot of people are saying exactly that it's not just blurting it out, it's the, you're right. And we are told, actually, that on the set, there was no like, oh my God, what did I do once it happened. It just, everybody kind of just, nobody thought this would become a thing at all. So you're right. And that is the thing that troubles a lot of people, but also using the word troubles a lot of people. And I will say, Ice Cube is supposed to be on this Friday night. He is not canceling, but he is going to confront Bill Maher, even though Ice Cube has used it many times.
Right. Yeah,
he's going to confront Bill Maher.
And basically, he's saying he thinks this is a time for a real discussion about it. He's actually welcoming this.
Yeah. Look, I mean, there's been a discussion about this for a long time. And, you know, people like Al Sharpton think that there should be, that nobody should use it. Blacks shouldn't use it. There are others who think that it's okay for blacks to use it, but whites shouldn't use it. And, you know, it goes back and forth this way. But I don't think anybody thinks that what Bill Maher said was appropriate. I mean, everybody seems to be saying it was wrong. The question is, are there going to be any consequences? My guess is no.
Now, actor, comedian Kevin Hart, I know he's weighing in on this issue as well. I saw that you had that on TMZ on your website. You know, he's a comedian. A lot of people are putting this whole Bill Maher thing with the whole Kathy Griffin thing, kind of putting them together. But even though they're two totally separate things and two totally different things, but kind of showing that sometimes things for comedians, when people are ad-libbing, sometimes things can go too far. And Kevin Hart's going to talk about that too.
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, you know, Kathy Griffin was not ad-libbing. That was a well-rehearsed kind of a thing.
But a comedian who went too far.
You can't say that was for, you know, a comedian who went too far, and I think that really is the issue, and a lot of people are talking about it. And listen, there are people now, you know, they're actually combining Bill Maher, Kathy Griffin, and these Harvard kids who are getting who are getting rejected after getting accepted to Harvard for what they said. I mean, there are a lot of people who are saying that there's this kind of litmus test now that's being imposed on people on what you can and can't say, and people are getting destroyed based on what they say, yet this is a country that's founded on the ability to have views that are very unpopular. And so it is interesting to see that all of a sudden people are jumping on people and kind of destroying people, you know, when they don't like the message, yet it's a country that was founded on being able to deliver a message. And it seems like there's like a big debate over this right now.
Yeah, good point. HBO, as you mentioned, not going to cancel the show. Show's going to go on. Bill Maher's show's going to go on as planned. And as far as any sort of, we haven't heard of any sort of punishment. Have we heard a statement or anything from HBO?
Well, no. I mean, look, HBO said that they were disgusted by it, that they weren't going to rebroadcast it, they weren't going to put it on social media. But the fact is, HBO is subscription-based. It's not advertiser-based. So just unlike Fox News Channel, that started to lose advertisers with Bill O'Reilly, that isn't the case with Bill Maher. I mean, I doubt anybody's going to unsubscribe, or very few will unsubscribe to HBO. So it's going to really stand or fall based on his ratings, and that's kind of the way the game works anyway.
Harvey, thank you for your insight. You can see TMZ weeknights, 11 p.m., weekdays, 3 p.m. here on Fox 4. You can also find a link to the show's website at fox4news.com.